Hey everybody, how is it going? It's time for the version 9.4 NASCAR and Bugatti Divo update. Alright, so at the moment, on Monday here in USA, the new version update is available on both iOS and, as you can see here, on the Android. And they do require you to download some additional contents after you go through the App Store or the Play Store, depending on which platform you're on. Then you'll be ready to roll, almost. Alright, so in this version, it's a NASCAR update, so we're gonna get a bunch of NASCARs. We have two like special events for NASCAR. So there are 8 cars for the 2021 season, and there are 2 events to win. So you can win 2 of the 8 cars. Remaining 6 cars, you can either decide to buy as many as you want. I believe they're available for a limited amount of time. That's always, well, that's been the case with the NASCAR since, oh gosh, I want to say maybe around the year 2017 or something like that, or maybe it was 2018, I cannot remember. Somewhere around that time, they basically something happened with their licensing, I'd assume, with the NASCAR, where they cannot keep the older cars anymore in the game. So the season over, you have limited amount of time to pick up whatever car you want. If you miss it, they're gone forever. Forever, yes. At least as far as I can tell. Alright, so let's check out some new contents here. Bugatti Divo. Alright, introducing the Bugatti Divo, a hyper elusive, hyper stylish hypercar. Only 40 of these exist in the real world, so don't miss your chance to add one to your garage by taking part in Club Day Divo. Alright, so this Club Day is sort of a relatively new type of event they've introduced. Basically, it's a form of special event that is more or less requires a PR requirement. It's that, like, along the same line of race day, track day. Now they're adding club day to the mix, and which category, depending, I think what it means is depending on the classification of the car. Because, you know, obviously in the last version, we had the first rendition of Club Day event featuring the Hennessy Venom F5, which is, of course, pretty fast car. Divo, also pretty fast car, pretty expensive car. So, yeah, I think that's just a new category of special events. So all these, like, something day events, race day, track day, club day, they all have PR requirements, which means you have to pay for it. And you have set number of time to initiate the event. And once you initiate the event, then you will have, most likely, I think most events have been 5-stage events, which means you have 5 days to complete the event to win the car. And they've been offering 3-hour instant service and instant R&D on upgrades on the car once you start the event. So ideally, you want to try to complete the event while the offer is good, so you know you don't have to watch more ads than necessary, right? So with as long as you can afford the upgrades, the events themselves aren't terribly difficult usually. So I expect kind of the same scenario for the Club Day event featuring this monster of a car. And yeah, once we get to the later on part of this video, we'll talk about the actual spec of the car. But the event itself pays out some 75 gold and 250,000 racing dollars. PR requirement is 89.4, and this is the first special event. So as soon as you download the new 9.4, the update of the game, it is going to be open. So you can pretty much start running right away, assuming that you can afford the upgrades, right? And the last chance to start the event is the May 17th, Monday. So yeah, you got some time. If you can find a block of 3 hours that you can just kind of race right through, that would be ideal, since you know, don't have to worry about servicing the car. And most of these events are pretty, you know, like 5 stages, like 4 goals every stage, except for the final goal, final stage, which has extra 5th goal. So like total of 21 goals to complete under 3 hours generally is not too demanding. So more often than not, you will complete the event itself, and you will have some extra time to run through the bonus series the car is featured in, which is, for this car, it's called Supercar Renaissance. And as you might expect, it is in Legends section of the Road Collection. And it's not a single car series, thank goodness. The series does feature a couple of other Lambos, Asterion and the Essenza SCV12. So the series pays out 67 gold total. And yeah, PR requirement to complete that series is 92, which I don't think Asterion and Essenza can reach that PR. So if you want 100% complete, not only do you have to own all 3 cars, but you would have to upgrade this brand new car to meet that PR requirement of 92. Since I mean, you're not going to be terribly far away. You will be at 89.4 to win the car. So but of course those later upgrades do get pretty pricey, so we'll see. And NASCAR returns. Some of you guys might be cheering, some of you guys might be kind of bummed out. This is very divisive type of events. I'm okay with the NASCAR as long as it's not something that I do all the time, because, you know, it's all about variety, and NASCAR definitely does provide that as a nice break from, you know, rest of the game content. So I do appreciate what they do. It's just unfortunate that I don't know, maybe they're not expecting us to own all NASCARs. I don't. I mean, it's just not practical. You know, so since I do manage 3 separate accounts, basically what I do is I run through events in 3 different cars for 3 different accounts, right? So I will be able to at least own 6 cars across 3 different accounts. Yeah, I know. Maybe that's why I'm getting burned out. Anyway, NASCAR returns for its 2021 season. Pick a team and hit the Speedway in 2 race day events at Daytona and Richmond. All right. I like Richmond. And Daytona is not so bad. Speedway section, I think it's the most fun part of Daytona. Not a big fan of motorcycle course or the road course. Those are painful circuits. And I am terrible at it, and I have no plan on improving. At least I don't know. I just don't enjoy the circuit. What can I say? Speedway, on the other hand, it's fun. That's where you really get to let loose, right? Anyway, so for 2021 season, we're gonna get 2 Toyotas, 2 Camrys basically, 2 Mustangs, so 2 Fords, and 4 Camaros, 4 Chevys. So we'll check them out. They all have the same PR, but the specs are slightly different, sort of like the way they've been in the past. So in the past, Mustangs have been generally the kind of a gripper, and I want to say Camrys were usually the one with the highest top speed, and the Camaro, depending on the team, it kind of falls somewhere in between, but not always, you know, because when you got 4 different Camaros, you know, some are gonna be closer to a sprinter type of spec, while others might be a little bit closer to the, you know, grippier side of things. So yeah, we'll check them out later. And we got another road collection car on offer in this update, Chevy Corvette Stingray C8. So this car we can win through I believe a limited time series, right? Yeah, so this will be a limited time series that requires, once again, PR 59.2, and upon completing the limited time series, you will win 50 gold and the car and 150,000 racing dollars. And this is going to be one of the last limited time series or special events offered in the version 9.4. So all right, and then we got a slew of limited time series featuring some legacy Bugattis. So along with the new one, the new Divo and Chevy Stingray C8, we got on offer Chiron Sport, Chiron, Bugatti EB110 Super Sport, and apparently a pile up gold, depending on what you consider a pile, and also in whose favor you're talking, because I always feel like when they say pile up gold, they mean for them, not for us. Because most likely you'll have to spend more to get through, right? So let's see, limited time series, which one's the first one? Chiron Sport limited time series is going to be the first one that runs from May 10th through May 16th, and you get to win the car, 60 gold and 300,000 racing dollars. PR requirement is 93.6. So since these cars are sort of legacy cars, when they run the limited time series on legacy cars, the PR requirement is higher. More often than not, almost fully upgraded PR. So these are going to be, if you don't own these cars, I don't know if this is the best way to win these cars, but I feel like when they run these legacy car limited time series, they're really more for well, legacy players who already own these cars with a relatively high upgrades, high PR, to just kind of run through either partially or all the way through to pick up some extra gold or get some discount essentially on those remaining upgrades that they may not have on board already. So, you know, if you miss out on these, don't, you know, I wouldn't fret it. They'll come back. And since PR requirement is already pretty high, ain't gonna get any higher. I mean, it's gonna be like maxed out at the next rendition. So that's the first one. Next one is gonna be the non-sport version of Chiron, or should we call it Shihong? So that is gonna be running from 24th of May through 30th of May. and you will win the car plus 50 gold and 250,000 racing dollars with the PR requirement of 91.1. And the last of the Legacy limited time series will be the Bugatti EB110 Super Sport. That one runs from June 4th through June 8th. So that is like the second to last limited time series before the Corvette Stingray C8, which is a new car, right? So, but anyway, for the this last Bugatti limited time series, you will win the car EB110 Super Sport, plus 40 gold and 150,000 racing dollars, and the PR requirement for that is going to be 53.2. All right, and time trial competitions, more Formula One contents going on. So these are nice opportunity to make use of those Formula One cars that you have in your garage. Excuse me. The 2021 season edition, that is. So the two events that we got, one at Catalonia and the other at Circuit of the Americas. And the first one, let's see, is going to be running from May 7th through May 20th. I'm expecting that first one is the Catalonia. At least the picture looks like it. And the, you know, you depending on your rank, how good your time is, your gold rewards, you know, depends on it. And then the second time trial competition will run from May 21st through June 3rd at Circuit of the Americas, most likely. So same kind of deal there. And then we get two exclusive series for the two relatively new cars, one from last update and one from one before, I think. So we got the Volkswagen IDR. So that one is pretty pricey. Well, both cars are pretty pricey if you're trying to fully max out. And the payout never, you know, kind of compensate you much. So Volkswagen IDR, upon 100% completing exclusive series, there's some 150 gold to be won and 350,000 racing dollars. I know, it's a bit of a slap in the face. And not much better for Hennessy Venom F5 exclusive series. There is whopping 175 gold and 500,000 racing dollars to be won upon 100% completing the series. But of course, cost of entry is pretty steep. So anyway, let's check out some new cars. There is a car for sale this week. Must be featured in either time trial or online multiplayer. It's going to be Mercedes-AMG GT3, which is a wonderful car, by the way. If you do not own it yet, it's a good car. What can I say? And sure, start downloading. I'll download remaining assets later. We'll see how incrementally they want it, and then we'll kind of go from there. And let's see. So this update is basically, it covers 6 weeks, so about a month and a half, right? It'll take us through like the mid-early June, right? So anyway, here is the new car number 1, Bugatti Divo. All right, so let's check out the car. Base PR starts at 77.9. Maxed out does go all the way up to 93.1. Service time is 3 hours. You know, racing dollar servicing, right? And the cost of the car is 850 gold. And the event that the club day event to win this car does require PR 89.4, but well, to meet that PR requirement, most likely I am thinking it will cost us, let's see, car is worth 850 gold and they're paying out some 75 gold. So total, if you add those together, that comes up to like 925 gold, right? So if you cut that in half, you can get a rough estimate of how much it will cost you to win this car from that event. So that means what? About 460 something? 460 gold, roughly. And I'm not even going to bother going through the racing dollar cost, because if you have to count those, the chances are you're probably not ready for it. Anyway, top speed 380 kph. All right. Acceleration 2.32 seconds. Braking distance 31.1 meters. It's a little bit longer than some of the more recent cars that I've been racing. All right. So kind of soft brakes and a grip of 1.6 G. So yeah, that sounds about right for PR 77.9 car. All right, let's check out the next new road car, Chevy Corvette Stingray C8. Now this car, base PR starts at 45.9, as you can see here, and there must be a typo on their site, because they do say it starts at 45.8. Obviously it's 45.9. So when that happens, when maxed out, I have a feeling it probably goes up to 63.5, even though they say it's 63.4. Service time 3 hours. Cost of the car is 450 gold, and the limited time series to win this car pays out 50 gold. So that means what we're earning basically through the limited time series is like 500 gold. So to win this car, to meet the PR requirement, most likely you will be spending some 250 gold or so. Yeah, the PR requirement for that was 59.2. So that's my guess. Top speed 296 kph. That's not too far behind Bugatti, is it now? Acceleration 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometer, 2.8 seconds. 33.2 meters for braking distance and 1.03 G for the grip. So I have a feeling, I don't know, that might feel, I mean, relatively speaking, a bit slippery coming out of 1.6 G car, you know what I mean? But yeah, top speed, we never reach what's on the specs. So I don't know, Stingrays, like other Corvettes in the game, are not, you know, bad handling. They are actually all decent cars. So I'd expect this handles just as well. We'll see. Specs tell you only part of the story, right? Anyway, then we got the remaining cars are all gonna be the NASCAR. As you can see, limited time only. Ends in 272 days and 23 hours. So that's essentially when this season will expire. So if you don't own any of the 2021 season NASCARs, you won't have access to the actual season either. Season just tab will disappear after that limited time. Anyway, so Toyota Camry, Joe Gibbs Racing, and all these cars are worth exactly the same amount. Motorsport dollar currency, right? 2.15 million motorsport dollars is how much each of these NASCAR is going to cost. Base PR all start at 45.4. is following that new like team principal and driver XP, you know, level up business. So once you max out driver and the principal, they all max out at PR 50.3. So we'll see how much it actually costs to do that. And these cars will be available through 2 NASCAR events: the 2021 Daytona 500, which runs from May 18th through May 28th, and then Toyota Owners 400, which is going to be the one at the Richmond circuit, and that one runs from let's see, May 29th through June 8th, and it's going to be kind of similar to those track day, race day events where you have a window of time to start the event, and then once you start the event, you will have most likely 5 days to complete to win the car. If it runs like Formula One, if you don't finish within, like, let's say 5 days that you're given after you start the event, then you won't win the car, but you will still be able to win the tuning setup, right? So that's something to keep in mind. But you know, if you're running through these events, you want to try to make sure that you can actually win the car as well, since 5 days for 5-stage event is a lot of time, you know. So it's more often than not, it's going to be whether you can afford the upgrades once again. So just motorsport dollars, because there's a daily cap on how much you can earn, of course. You have to kind of do a little bit of basic math to make sure you can, you know, afford all the necessary upgrades. So once we have, once the events are available, I'll have an overview video kind of going over strategy for the event, along with the cost associated, what's the best way to spend your resources and whatnot. Anyway, so that will be for another time though. So for now, let's see, let's just run through. And then we got the Mustangs. Right, 2 Mustangs, one from Team Penske and the other one from STEWART-HAAS. And then the remainder are all going to be Chevy Camaros, Hendrick Motorsports. I want to say Hendrick Motorsport had the highest top speed in the last season. We'll see if that's they still hold that title this season. And then we got the Chip Ganassi Racing, another Chevy Camaro ZL1, and Richard Childress Racing, another Chevy, and Richard Petty Motorsports, Chevy Camaro as well. And yeah, you can kind of tell, like $299 I think was the Hendrick Motorsport, right, for top speed. Anybody else come anywhere near that? Yeah, well, Camry. Yep, so this year's top speed crown will go to the 23XI Racing. Camry gets the top speed. And let's check out the, at 301 kph. That is pretty fast for NASCAR, isn't it? I feel like I should be looking at this through imperial units though. I mean, it's NASCAR. It just sounds funny when you talk about it in kilometers per hour. Anyway, let's compare the acceleration then. So we got 3.45 seconds, so that's a little bit on the slower side of things. Joe Gibbs, slower top speed, slower acceleration. So does it actually excel in grip and braking distance? Let's find out. Yes, it does. Definitely in grip than the 23XI Racing Camry. And the braking distance is the same. So I feel like, you know, 23XI Racing Toyota is going to be a better car between the two. Unless you really like the M&M's finish, then, well, you know, there's only one, right? All right. And then Fords, yeah, traditionally have been the gripper. So as you can see, STEWART-HAAS Ford's got the 1.13G. So that's the one with the highest grip. Team Penske not too far behind, 1.12G. And the top speed are both capped off at 296. So they're not necessarily the fastest in this season. 3.46 seconds for acceleration. 3.43 for Penske. So Penske does come out a little bit ahead in terms of acceleration, but the STEWART-HAAS does have higher grip. Same exact braking distance. Now compare that to the Camrys. Yeah, braking distance all same on all these guys, aren't they? 3.45, 3.42, 3.46, 3.43. So acceleration, will you really feel that much difference? I mean, these guys, NASCAR, just as a race, more so than, let's say, the likes of Formula One, rely heavily on momentum, right? So, because, you know, you're usually racing in tightly packed racing formations. So, acceleration, I don't think it's gonna play as great of a role as the top speed. But that's just my guess. And then the Chevy, you know what? This video can go on for a while if I talk about analyzing all these individual cars. We'll do that with a separate video when we're actually dealing with the NASCAR events. So for now, let's get out of this box here. And yep, as I mentioned, the Club Day event featuring the new Bugatti Divo is already available. But let's check out the new contents, right? Because there's a bonus series in Legends section featuring this very car at the very far end, along with a couple of Lambos, right? So if we go to the very far end, there it is, Supercar Renaissance, right? So, total rewards for 100% completing that series is going to be 67 gold and 67,000 racing dollars. If you don't own any of these cars, you would have to win or buy one of those cars to unlock this series. Or if you win 24 trophies in McLaren Generations, which is one of these big box series, then it will unlock. So that is that's pretty neat. And then the new car, Corvette, you'll find the bonus series under Master section. Once again, at the very far end, you will see American Classics, right? And it features SRT Viper GTS, Ford Shelby GT350R, and this new Corvette Stingray C8. There's some 56 gold to be won for 100% completing, plus 56,000 racing dollars. And the PR requirement is 61.6. And once again, if you want to, you know, unlock this series, you will have to either own any of those cars featured, or in this case, you will have to win 28 trophies in Open Sky Challenge, which is the very first big box series in Master section, which I have. Well, I've won 28 trophies, as you can see in the corner there. Yes, Open Sky Challenge. It's a lot of fun. That's a good one. I do like that series. And they thought so too, so much so they actually have another one, right? Open Sky Challenge 2. Look at that. So those are two bonus series. And then of course there are two new exclusive series, which I don't have those new cars fully upgraded because I don't. They're way too expensive for my blood. So we're talking Volkswagen IDR. As much as I think that car is wonderful, you know, I have only 11 upgrades available up on board that car, as you can see, out of 28 available. So I got ways to go in terms of how much more I have to spend to take part in the exclusive series for this guy. Yeah. And then the other one is the new Hennessy Venom F5, right, which we won in the last version. And that one was the club day event, which means it had a PR requirement. So that's why you see 21 out of 28 upgrades available on board this car. Yeah, so, but still, those later upgrades on these cars are pretty pricey. So I will be waiting for the upgrade discount, not in a rush. I got plenty of other races that I can do, as you see here. And then the remaining new content's all gonna be the NASCAR. So it's gonna be the 2021 season. Once it completes downloading at some point. Oh, and a big news that kind of got shoved at the bottom of their update notes is Event Archives is going away at the end of July. So that's a big news. So not at the end of this current version, but most likely next version will be the one where they're, you know, at the end they're gonna take it out. I don't know if they're planning on replacing with anything, but I wouldn't necessarily count on it. So something to keep in mind. Let's see, you got the limited time series or limited time only NASCAR 2021 season. And yes, once you win a car or buy a car in that season, the season will remain open permanently as part of your game. But yeah, if you don't own the car and don't get one before that timer expires, then yeah, it will not be there in your game. So something to keep in mind. So yes, not that. Event Archives, what did they do and why is oh yeah, so what they did apparently is you will be able to skip to whatever Event Archives event you want without spending any gold. So you can freely just kind of browse through. And let's see. Yeah, and if you skip, you will just go on to the next, you know, event in the archive without having to like wait for the one that you chose to expire. I'll have to make a separate video for that one. It's been a while since I've talked about anything that deals with Events Archive. So that is all there is to be said in the new version 9.4. So as I said, it is currently all available, at least here in US. So go get it, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for sticking around, listening to my yapping all this time. All right, take care, guys.